Damian Lillard.
Reggie Miller.
Damian Lillard.
Reggie Miller.
Damian Lillard.
Jordan is on best.
A chance to
Harper's on Miller. McKee gets it in the middle.
range three.
On Hall of Fame Episode 3 of NBA Now and Then, The Greatest Comparisons, we compare two of the most clutch three-point shooters the NBA has ever seen.
8 points in 9 seconds? Spike Lee still can't believe what he saw that night.
Their veins pumping ice,
An attempt from the logo to win the game? No sweat.
and their shots full of fire.
The lights were never too bright for either of these guys.
We are ecstatic to present to you Damian Lillard and Reggie Miller. I'm Uriah,
I'm Maurice.
I'm Lucas.
And I'm Ben.
and we're here to talk NBA.
Now and then.
Okay, here we go. Episode 3, Hall of Fame Episode 3. We've already talked about Isaiah Thomas, Kyrie Irving, Joel Embiid, and Hakeem Olajuwon. Now it's time to talk about some clutch performers. Let's start with Lucas. What makes this comparison so special to you?
So when I'm thinking about these two, you got a point guard right here who's arguably the second best shooting point guard of all time and in this current generation, comparing him to, up until recently, the best shooter in NBA history, now probably third or fourth. But still, comparing two elite shooters at the guard position makes this a unique comparison to me.
They're just clutch. Like either guy, they're playoff risers. Give them the shot, they'll take it. They have the most historic moments in playoff history. Unfortunately, neither have won a chip.
Follow up what Ben was saying. Both of them are not only great three-point shooters, but both of them are known to have clutch, not even regular season, but playoff three-point shots.
Yeah, I think about how they elevate their games when the game matters the most. You think about the confidence. You think about how gutsy and relentless these guys have shown in the biggest games with the brightest lights. Albeit they didn't win championships, but still they were fun to watch.
First quarter, background.
It's time to talk about Dame Dollar, a.k.a. Sub-Zero, a.k.a. Dame Time, a.k.a. Logo Lillard. Before he got tagged those nicknames, he was born Damian Lamont Ali Lillard, July 15th, 1990, Oakland, California, to his mother Gina and his dad Houston. He played for Oakland High School his senior season, where he averaged 22 points and 5 assists. He attended Weber State for 4 years. As a freshman, he was the Big Sky Freshman of the Year. The next season, Lillard averaged 19.9 points per game, leading the Big Sky Conference. Does anybody even know where Weber State is located?
Yes, it is in Utah.
Yes. Did you guys know that, though?
I did know that because he wore the jersey in the last three-point shooting contest.
Oh, okay.
So I knew that.
Yeah, only because of like looking it up, but it could have been in Idaho.
That's what I thought it was at first.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I learned it the same way Maurice did.
Damian Lillard was named the conference MVP, and he made the All-Big Sky first team. Unfortunately, a foot injury sidelined him for most of his junior season. He played only 10 games. After he came back for his senior year in 2011-2012, Lillard claimed the Big Sky Conference MVP award after averaging, watch this, 24.5 points a game. And he became the first Big Sky player to earn AP All-American honors. I got some three-point information real quick from college. He shot 230 three-pointers his final year. Under 42% from three. Lucas?
Has to be over.
Over for sure.
I'm going to say under.
Going against the grain, huh, Maurice? Well, you're right.
What?
He still shot pretty good, Lucas. He shot 40.9%.
Okay.
But on 230 attempts, that is astounding. Lillard left Weber State as the school's all-time leader in three-pointers, free throws, and free throw percentage. His 1,934 career points were good for second in school history and fifth in the history of the Big Sky Conference. What stands out to you about Lillard's college background? Let's start with Lucas.
The fact is that the Big Sky, I'm pretty sure, is an FCS conference in football, which means that it's not a big conference. Outside of Damian Lillard, how many players have been drafted from the Big Sky Conference? I can't think of any.
Exactly.
And the fact is that not only did he get drafted out of there and put up impressive numbers, he did it as a lottery pick, which I know I'm getting a little bit ahead of, but it's still just mind-blowing how good he was in college.
Even in college, he was a really good three-point shooter. Now, we know Dame to be a long-range three-point shooter these days, but that's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, I was looking at the Big Sky, the basketball. The only team I really recognize is Northern Arizona, and I only know them because they're a top running school. So it's funny, being a former runner, these schools are elite because of where they train, but for basketball, no, he clearly was not recruited well. And Oakland isn't that far away from this area, so I'm not surprised.
I think you notice how special he was coming out of Weber State. You just think about such a small school that Lucas was emphasizing, and not many people in the NBA, if anybody, from that school. But you also have to look at how Portland really saw the potential in Lillard and took a leap of faith, and they scored on him. So
you're right. Did Weber State even make the NCAA any of the years that he was there?
I don't believe so.
So they were able to scout him without the NCAA tournament and as a lottery pick?
Usually these sites have all their NCAA tournament numbers. I didn't see any, so I'm assuming that
who was the GM at the time?
I'm not sure.
You know what's crazy, Lucas? And we know this. They did the same thing the next year.
Yeah, with CJ McCollum.
CJ McCollum.
Right.
With Lehigh. So it's interesting.
Well, Lehigh's a more common school. You've heard of Lehigh before.
They're in the Patriot League, though. That's like the Eastern.
But you've seen them in the NCAA before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's similar. But do you think Steph Curry probably helped elevate people taking risks on some of these guards?
Maybe.
Yeah.
With the 6th pick in the 2012 NBA Draft, the Portland Trailblazers select Damian Lillard of Weber State University.
What a rise for the guard from Oakland, California, who played at Weber State. Weber State not really in the front of the consciousness in college basketball. Lillard didn't face a team in the top 25 while playing for the Wildcats, but boy, did he put up some impressive numbers. He finished second in the nation in scoring.
Well, he came to Oakland High, and we had a summer league in South Lake Tahoe. Mm-hmm. And we're in the van, I'm driving off, and he's like, wait! So I stopped the car. I'm like, what's wrong? I left my shoes. And I nodded, and I continued to drive off. He's like, you're not gonna let me get my shoes? And I'm like, it wasn't important enough for you to get them, so you could just sit and watch the game. So we went to the game, and Damian, who's a great guy, told one of the kids, hey, let me borrow your shoes. And the kid took his shoe off, and he gave them to Dame, and Dame's in the warm-up line. So I look back, and I look at the kid, I'm like, why are you sitting on the bench? Oh, I let Dame use my shoes so he can play. And then so I said, go get your shoes. You're gonna play, Dame's gonna sit. And he went to Dame, he gave him his shoes, and from then on, he pretty much remembered my shoes, being on time.
The discipline side is something that really helped me, because when I came to Oakland High, I was more of I was a much rougher person around that age. And when I got there, it was like, if I was late for something, I didn't start. And he was really holding me accountable for every little thing. If I didn't come to study hall on time, then he wouldn't let me practice. It was like he was taking stuff away from me, and it made me learn to be more responsible and hold myself accountable for every little thing. So I think that was when I first had that experience where it's like, all right, I need to be on time.
So Ben, I saw you shaking your head and looked like you were in agreement on some things. So that last clip was Damian Lillard's high school coach, and clearly he had a significant impact on him. What stands out to you from what you just heard?
It sounds like this high school coach kind of like instilled in him like loyalty, I would say. He's from Oakland, which is kind of a smaller town in the Bay Area, more of like a neighborhood community, I imagine. It's interesting that he went to these smaller markets and stayed there. Like he stayed at Weber State all 4 years, and then he has stayed at Portland for 11 years. So it's just interesting that he seems to have loyalty, and it sounds like maybe from good coaching.
It just speaks to his character. We've known that he's been a loyal guy for a long time, and just hearing that kind of just confirms how he developed that type of character.
Yeah, just sticking with what's true to him has always been something important to Dame. And I respect it too.
Big respect to these coaches putting their foot down and teaching discipline to some of these players who, no matter how rough and tough they appear to be, they need that guidance.
Indiana Pacers select Reggie Miller of UCLA.
Well, we'll call that timely.
Ooh, that caught me by surprise.
All right, now the next pick coming up will be Washington. Let's go right back to Reggie. Reggie, what are your feelings there? Indiana Pacers. Chuck Person, last year's Rookie of the Year, was there. He was picked, by the way, 8th in the draft, so here at 11th, you could have an excellent opportunity. What are you thinking right now?
It's great. Rookie of the Year, Chuck Persons, Coach Ramsey, and class organization. I would just like to come in and play hard. It's like Kenny Smith and everyone else said before, it's just a pleasure to be picked and to go, so I'm happy right now.
Wow, he sounds so young, right? So we finished talking about the background of Damian Lillard. Let's now talk about Uncle Reg, a.k.a. the Nick Killer, a.k.a. Mighty Mouth. Before he got tagged those nicknames, he was born Reginald Wayne Miller, August 24th, 1965. Reggie had a few athletes in his family. His sister Laura played volleyball at Cal State Fullerton. Darryl Miller, his older brother, was a catcher and outfielder for the Los Angeles Angels. Wow. And Cheryl Miller, famously known for a variety of reasons, she starred at USC. She won a 1984 Olympic gold medal for Team USA, and she was eventually inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. Now, this is what really stood out to me. I did not know this. So Reggie Miller, he had a really rough start as a youngster playing sports. He had severely splayed feet because he was born with a hip deformity, which forced him to wear leg braces until he was 4 years old. It was questioned by doctors whether he would ever walk without his braces. As far as basketball, well, once he got to high school, he attended Riverside Polytech High in Riverside, California. Although I don't have many high school stats for Reggie Miller, there's plenty from his college days. You guys want to hear him?
Yeah, sure.
So Reggie starred at UCLA in the 1980s. His second year at UCLA, he helped the Bruins win the NIT championship and was the NIT's most outstanding player. His junior year, he averaged 25.9 points a game and became second on the all-time scoring list as a Bruin. As a senior, he led the Bruins to the 1987 Pac-10 crown. Reggie Miller scored a career-high 42 in a win against Louisville that season. He was a 3-time winner of the Coach John Wooden Award presented to the team's MVP. Now, check this out. Did you guys know that the NCAA didn't even have a three-point line until Reggie Miller's senior year? Did you guys know that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy, right? When the NCAA did introduce the three-point line, he shot pretty good from beyond the arc. Let's go over under Reggie Miller, the year that he had a three-point line, over under 43%.
Over.
Under.
Maurice again. 40. Yeah, Reggie was like that. 43.9% from three in college. That's how bad Reggie was. So it just continued into the NBA. Anyway, after graduation, Reggie Miller was drafted 11th in the first round of the 1987 draft. He went on to play 18 seasons, all for the Indiana Pacers. So, Maurice, let's go with you. What stands out to you about Reggie Miller's background, high school or college?
I remember the one clip when Reggie Miller said, I think it was at the draft, where he said he's not the most famous Miller in the family. I think he said he wasn't the best basketball player in the house.
Oh.
I think it's something to that extent.
Tipping his hat to his sister, you think? Cheryl Miller? Yeah.
Cheryl Miller was really good, too. Reggie, man, 43, almost 44% from three. That's one way to introduce a three-point line to a whole college basketball system.
The UCLA thing stands out. I mean, that's such an incredible program to play for.
Yeah.
The no three-point line is I always forget that. And it's interesting. I wonder if there were any matchups with him and Michael, if they ever played against each other, because there would have been 1 year where overlapped. I forget how old Reggie is because he played so long that he was in the league in 87.
Gosh. I'm sorry, I'm just floored. I mean, I didn't realize he went to UCLA. UCLA at the time was still really regarded, even. Pretty sure wouldn't have retired at that point, but, it was still a blue blood college program. I mean, just to shoot over 43% in one season, the first year you have it.
That's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Absolutely mind-blowing. Yeah, and he comes from a long line of historically great players, whether it's Bill Walton, obviously Lou Alcindor, obviously Kevin Love and Westbrook, the O'Bannon brothers. And there you have Reggie Miller in the middle of all those guys, setting records and producing like no college player was doing at the time. As far as his upbringing, growing up in the house with all these athletes probably implanted a competitive spirit that only helped him, whether it was his sisters or his brother. So it's no surprise that Reggie became such a killer. He had this instinct that he always had to win or at least come out on top. So yeah, I find it interesting. And to have the resilience as a young person to deal with that hip deformity. I did not know that. I don't know if you guys knew that when I was growing up.
Second quarter. Statistics.
He can shoot that. 3 seconds left in the quarter. Dame steps through. Deep three on the way. Banks it in! Damian Lillard from the logo. He has been unbelievable from distance of late.
Dribble and then get it off if he needs to. No dribble.
Dame from deep. Yes, sir! Dame from way downtown. Dame distance, and he finishes the quarter.
Missed that one. Right at the rim. Reddish the other way. Dame, a deep one. Buried it! Damian Lillard from long range, way out in the deep water. Here comes Dame again. He just rolls by Wagner, elevates and packs it. Exerts his will. Windmilling his arms, Blazers by 10. A burst into the lane. Flushed him with a right hand. Damian Lillard right down the boulevard with a right hand jam. Sideline to get the rock. High dribble into the lane, running right-hander up and in. Damian Lillard with that runner. 71 points.
So those were just some highlights of Dame's extraordinary ability to score the ball. Here's some numbers about Dame. Now, before I get started on the stats, we're going to do something a little bit different. I have some advanced stats that we're going to look at after our general stats. These stats are what I would consider clutch stats. They include scoring within the last 5 minutes for a total season. We're going to look at Dame's first, and then, of course, we're going to look at Reggie's. We're going to look at just one season each. That being said, let me get into Dame's regular numbers here first. Dame is 6'2", 195 pounds. He's worn number 0 his whole entire career with the Portland Trail Blazers. By the time this comes out, he may be traded, he may not. We'll see. But his best season with the Blazers was this past season. He scored 32 points per game, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, half a block, 3.5 turnovers. He shot 46% from the field, 37% from three-point line on 11 attempts per game. He shot 91% from the free throw line. Now, just to put this into perspective, his points per game this past season, his points per game was 3rd overall. He's been 3rd overall in the scoring in the NBA for the past 3 seasons. And then his career highs, 71 this past season. 71, guys. Not very many people have done that. He's also had an 18 rebound game. That's the one that really shocks me. Yeah, 18 rebounds back in what year was that? That was the 2014-2015 season. He had 16 assists, multiple seasons. He's had 6 steals, 4 blocks as career highs. Does anything pop out to you guys stats-wise?
The 18 rebounds, I would say, and the assists, but I would say he's the guy that instills fear the most in me, and he just like chooses what he's going to do. He gets to his spots. Yeah, he can distribute and he can rebound, and he still has athleticism at his age. But yeah, that rebounding is pretty impressive. And just last season, man, like those numbers you just said, and I watched that 71-point game. For the record, that was in regulation, and I think I believe they took him out as well. So that was an in regulation game, and it just was unbelievable. So I thought that was the most impressive scoring game of the year.
So real quick, before anybody else jumps in here, I got to make a quick stat correction that I said earlier. In 3 out of the past 4 seasons, he's led the league in scoring. The one season he didn't qualify because he only played 29 games, but he averaged a little bit lower than what his career average, but that's because of injury.
Yeah, the scoring is out of this world, and to have such an aggressive mentality as a point guard to score, get to the paint. The highlight reel you heard earlier, there were several dunks that he threw down on whoever. Didn't matter, and still doesn't matter who's at the rim. Dame will throw down. Now, the announcer earlier mentioned a nickname I had not heard, Dame Distance. Have you guys heard that one yet?
No, but I'm not surprised by it. It's not surprised. It's good. It's pretty good. It makes sense. The guy, he's one of the... I would say there's only 3... I mean, there used to be 3, but now really only 2 players you have to guard at half court. But now it's just Steph Curry and Damian Lillard.
Yeah,
I would say Luka.
Trey will,
but he shot terribly last year.
Yeah. Would you say Tatum?
No, he's not really a distance guy.
Yeah.
So just to wrap it up, I think for him to be able to still get up and dunk the way he does in his early 30s, you just can't sleep on Lillard and assume he's going to shoot a 3-pointer. He'll take you off the dribble and finish at the rim.
He scored 71 at 32. And I don't see a decline in points per game anytime soon.
I think as long as he's healthy, he probably, in terms of staying in his prime, he might be starting to hit his decline at the last year of that contract, which right now is a 4-year extension. So I think he'll be like 36 by the end of it. So maybe when he's 36, we'll start seeing a slight decline. I mean, outside of the dunking, his game doesn't rely on athleticism. So as long as Dame could tailor his game to play more off ball as he gets older, he could still be, maybe not 30 points per game, but 25, 24.
Mercy! 79-73, Milwaukee. Miller. Yes. The Bucks by 4. Miller has 25.
Manny just wants to turn and shoot over the top of Miller.
Again, the matchup. Thomas defending on Miller. They clear it out. Reggie for 3. Yes! Playing that high rebound. McKee behind the back for Dale Davis. It was blocked. Larry Brown wanted a foul. Miller fired. 3-pointer for Reggie Miller.
Usually I only do one season here, but I do want to mention another season that Reggie had before I get to the main season. Did you guys know that Reggie was part of the 50-40-90 club?
At some point, I would assume that. I've heard that somewhere.
Yeah, I would assume that as well.
And I'll even tell you this, it was a season that he was not an all-star. Here's my question for you guys. Did it happen within the first 10 years of his career or the second 10 years of his career?
Second.
I'll just say first, just to be different.
Uriah's right.
Oh, wow.
Way to be random.
He was 28 years old in the 1993-1994 season. He shot 50.3% from the field, 42.1% from the three-point line, and 90.8%.
I think I know why, Lucas. Can I tell you why I think? Because I looked at his stats earlier. Was that the season he only averaged 18 points a game?
19.9.
19 points. I think that might have been when Larry Bird became the coach, if I'm not mistaken.
I can click on it real quick.
No,
okay.
I just know that some of his production went down when Larry Bird came in, and I think he created a different system.
93? 94?
93-94 season.
Oh, no, wait. Bird was still playing.
Yeah,
what am I
still
talking
playing,
about?
yeah.
I was thinking of 98. I'm sorry. Scratch that.
98, 99 was when he started averaging around 18 points per game.
Larry Brown was his coach. Wasn't Larry Brown his coach?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, the season, his best quote-unquote season, though, and what happened during his third season when he averaged essentially 25 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, less than half a block, 3 turnovers. He also shot 51% from the floor, 41% from the three-point line, and 86% from the foul line. His career highs. So, over 55 as a career high, guys.
Over.
Over, probably because like those later teams with Malice at the Palace squad, he probably was like a 4th or 5th option.
Ben and Uriah are right, but Ben, your logic is wrong. His career high happened in the 92-93 season.
You gonna let him get away with that, Ben? He just said your logic is wrong.
Hey, I could just call it out.
Throw it away.
Anyway, career high in rebounds is 12. Career high in assists is 11. 6 steals, 3 blocks, 8 turnovers, and of course, Uriah's favorite.
Don't do it. Why do you keep bringing that up? I'm editing all this stuff out, by the way.
That is more work for you, and I will kick the dead horse until it's nothing but dust. Anyway.
Thanks.
So hang on, I forgot to give you guys the some other quick stats here. He was 6'7", 185 pounds. So we know that Reggie was thin, but he was very thin for that size, and he wore 31 his whole career.
I'll say this: for his career high to be 24 points per game, that tells me that he wasn't a volume scorer at all. When you think about Reggie Miller in totality, you would think that he can fill it up whenever he wanted to. Mm-hmm. But I think more so Reggie Miller was just a clutch shooter. That's what his whole career was built off of. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame.
Some other interesting stats here. He's 25th all-time in the scoring. He has the 15th best pure shooting percentage. And in terms of career three-point percentage, do you think it's over under 70?
Under what?
Over under 70, ranked all time. Yeah.
I'll say under.
Under.
Over?
Under is correct.
Oh.
He was at 68th. But just to show you, the guy, his longevity was the main reason, because he played, I believe, 20 seasons? 21? 18 seasons. That doesn't even, it feels like it was longer.
No, it was 18.
Yeah, no. And we'll talk about more why it could have been longer later. But.
Well, I mean, you didn't mention number 1 3-point shooter of all time before.
No, he's not. He's not anymore.
Steph Curry.
Yeah. I was going to say until Steph Curry. Yeah.
It was Ray Allen top.
Ray Allen, and then
top
Steph.
and then Steph. Yeah, but he had that for a while. He had that for over a decade. Title.
I think Ray broke it when he was with the Heat.
So let me give you some background. I remember as a kid watching Reggie Miller play as a rookie. And I think Lucas said he weighed 165 pounds or something ridiculous. 185. But I'm sure at the beginning of his career, he was a lot thinner, Lucas. So I remember watching Reggie Miller thinking, why is this guy so skinny? And how is he in the NBA? And he proceeded to go on and kill the team that he was playing, which at the time was the Sixers. When you look at his numbers, his shooting performances, his averages, the 50, 40, 90, and you analyze his overall game, dribbling, he did what he had to do with the ball to get to his spots, whether it was finishing at the rim or getting some space for a three-pointer. His footwork, Reggie Miller's jab step was lethal. He would give you one jab step and pull up and swish. His shooting form was sublime. It's no surprise he's such a phenomenal shooter, but you can't forget the fundamentals. And the technique that he developed over years and years of honing his craft.
Absolutely. So before we move on, I have a special treat for you guys. I mentioned it at the beginning. We have clutch stats here. So just to explain what a clutch stat is for this particular purpose, within the last 5 minutes of the game, any scoring that they did within the last 5 minutes of the game for the whole entire season that I'm reading from, that is their quote-unquote clutch stat, is how much they were able to score within the last 5 minutes of a close game. I chose one season, the best clutch season that I could find for each one of them. Of course, they had to be an all-star to be considered to this. And for Reggie, the tricky part is that the NBA.com, where I got the stats from, didn't start recording clutch scoring until 1996. So we only had 3 really good seasons of Reggie that we could choose from. But let me start with Dame here. In the 2020 and 21 season, Dame led the NBA in clutch scoring, with 162 points, shooting 51% from the field and 39% from the three-point line. So that's Dame's best season as a clutch scorer. For Reggie, I went with the 1997-1998 season. He was third only behind Michael Jordan and Stephon Marbury. He scored 144 points on 41% shooting from the field and 41% shooting from the three-point line.
Man, that's a good grab, Lucas. That's a good grab.
That's one of my little nuggets here. That's one of my little nuggets. I got the nuggets.
With some extra BBQ sauce.
Oh, you got to get the barbecue sauce. You got to get the honey mustard and the barbecue sauce. So let me start with the Uriah here because I can see that he's hyped. What do you think, Uriah?
I love that you brought this up because that's what these guys are known for. And numbers don't lie. You look at Dame, 162 points. Reggie, his one season, 97, I think, 144. But the shooting percentage was interesting for Damian Lillard. 50% shooting in clutch situations. That tells you the ice in the veins, that whole thing is true to life.
51%.
Yeah,
51%.
So, guys, I remember seeing a highlight reel on YouTube or something where he has a clutch shot against every team in the NBA.
Wow.
And they showed him like, this is insane. Not Reggie Miller, but Damian Lillard. Now, I'm sure Miller has his own highlight reel of clutch shots and actually have some footage that I'll get to in a minute, but I want to let you guys chime in about what you guys heard.
Let me go to Maurice next.
Boy, well, the clutch shooting of both of them. And for Dame, we all remember the clutch shot he had against Oklahoma City Thunder. We remember when Paul George guarded him, and many interviews and podcasts after that, he said it's still a bad shot. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's on record saying that, yeah.
When you can take a 40-foot jump shot and it goes splash and it ends a team's playoff season, man, you can't get no more clutch than that. You really can. And the same thing goes with Reggie Miller. 2 clutch players that in playoff times, and you can easily go on YouTube and watch the clips, like 20, 30-minute clips of just clutch shots from both of them. It's truly amazing.
I'm not surprised with Damian Lillard. Obviously, he's still doing it right now. But yeah, both guys really they don't need much time, and they're going to take the last shot. And Reggie Miller, obviously, in that New York series, we know how clutch he is against Jordan. And I really think it's a shame Dame just doesn't. I know we're not on teammates, but earlier in his career, he had better rosters, and he's gotten so much better and so much more clutch. But he hasn't been the last couple of years in those playoff moments. So I feel like we've been cheated of that a little bit.
Third quarter, accolades.
Just because I knew what was on my back, I knew that I had my family that I needed to take care of. I knew that I had all these people that believed in me that I didn't want to let down. So, I really got after it. I did everything I needed to do to put myself in position. And, I really came out and had a good year. And then I had decided I was going to enter the draft. And then the critics came. Everybody was saying, oh, he went to Weber State. He's only 6'2". He's not really that athletic. He didn't play against competition. He's 22 years old. Anything they could think of to put it into me, that was what they were saying. And that wasn't nothing new to me. I had been up against it my whole life, so I came out and I proved it up. I'm not afraid to say I went into it. I didn't care who wanted to be my friend. I didn't care what people thought about me. I went into workouts. I showed them what I knew I could do. You know, I went to the combine. I played both days because I wanted to show them that I wasn't scared. I'm not running from nobody. And I got picked 6. And to a lot of people, that's a huge accomplishment. And I was excited about it, but I knew what I wanted for myself. And in a press conference back in school, I told the crowd there that I wanted to be Rookie of the Year. And some people might say I'd be crazy. And now here I am getting this award. And, you know, I'm not surprised by it. And that's not meant to be a cocky statement, but I'm not surprised by it at all because I know that I put the work in to put myself in this position. So after everything that's happened this season, I just expect more from myself.
All right, we're going to start off with Damian Lillard's accolades. Before I get going, how many All-NBA teams you guys think he made? Keep in mind, this is during the Steph Curry, James Harden prime era. He's right in there. Russell Westbrook, all these guys won MVPs during this time. So how many All-NBA teams do you think he made?
I'm going to say 3.
I'll go 5.
I go 5.
You guys, he actually has made 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a shock. I was like, because all 3 of those dudes won 4 MVPs, same position during that era. And so this guy is still just as elite as them. He also 7-time NBA All-Star. He was All-NBA first team in 2018, 4-time All-NBA second team, 2016, 2019, 2020, 2021. And then he was 2-time All-NBA third team in his third year, 2014, and then last year, 2023, which is still kind of impressive because his team was a lottery team and he still made it. He is the NBA Rookie of the Year in 2013, All-NBA Rookie 2013 team. All right, I'm going to ask this because I asked this before. Has Damian Lillard ever won an NBA three-point contest?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes. He just won one in 2023. He is the 2021 NBA Teammate of the Year. Not surprising since he's been on the same team for over 11 years. He is also part of that 2021 Olympic Tokyo team, gold medal team. Anything that stands out to you guys? I'll start off with Maurice. What stands out of that list?
Like we had the same comparison for Gilbert Arenas. You know, when you're in a league and specifically a position with other great players like Gilbert was, I was actually surprised that it was 7 for Dame all NBA teams. And we talked about it with Devin Booker too. You know, you still got Kobe, you still got LeBron. It's a lot of guards at that particular time. Steph. I would say Dame has always been a little bit underrated, I would say, especially early in his career, especially playing in Portland. A lot of people didn't see Dame play all the time. When he got his shine in the playoffs, that's when we really say, oh yeah, this dude got game.
What about you, Uriah? What stands out?
It's easy to go offensive numbers and all NBA teams or all-stars. That's commendable. But the one thing that I love that you bring up, Ben, is when these guys win Teammate of the Year or these type of awards that really you can't really quantify in terms of their legacy because there's no points involved with that, right? There's no rebounds involved with that. It's just being a presence in the locker room, a positivity, someone who encourages young players. I think it's a shame that people might remember more of his disgruntled days wanting to leave Portland as opposed to what led him then to earn that award of being such a great teammate, loyalty, like we mentioned earlier. So I find that interesting about that award and how I think that should maintain the front part of his legacy, in my opinion.
I just want to say that I'm surprised he's only got a 1 3-point shooting championship. Outside of Steph Curry, you could say that he's the best shooting point guard of all time, and I don't know if you could. Maybe was Pete Maravich a point guard? No, he wasn't, right? He was a shooting.
Pete Maravich was, well, he passed like a point guard. I couldn't.
Yeah, I would say he was a point guard.
Okay, so maybe third, but second or third. The point is that he's one of the greatest shooters of all time. If he was in any other era, you know, he'd get a lot more shine than what he does. 7 All-NBA appearances, fantastic. But in actuality, he probably deserved more. He came in the NBA around the same time Steph did, and it showed based off his, lack of recognition, in my opinion.
I did mention this. I'm not sure if I did, but he is he's, I think, the first modern player in our Hall of Fame series. He is part of the NBA 75th anniversary team, top 75 player. And so I know him and AD it was a little controversial, but yeah, Dame's just too good.
I think he deserves to be in the top 75.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't think there's much controversy there. Now, AD is a different story.
Yeah, I think what stood out for me is the early career All-NBAs, like the second year in 2014. And I mentioned this too. We forget that his earlier teams with LaMarcus Aldridge were probably that was his best chance, I think. That was a
really well-balanced team. You had Nicholas Batum, Wesley Matthews, LaMarcus Aldridge, Robin Lopez. Sorry, I'm getting ahead.
No, it's too bad about the roster construction around him.
From Hall of Famer coach Jack Ramsey, who taught me about physical fitness, to Larry Bird, who taught me about work ethic. What's funny is, people say you made so many shots under, so much duress and pressure. I'll tell you what pressure is. Pressure is playing for Larry Bird. Not only playing for Larry Bird, but having to go to the Garden as he's coming back and win those games for Larry Bird. And Coach, for your 3-year run, you were undefeated as we went to the Boston Garden every time. We did not lose one. Well, I might have been hurt. Oh, you remember that one, huh? Okay. Obviously, game management for Rick Carlisle. Larry Brown, who really took myself and the Pacers to a different level. I know Isaiah's here. All you great coaches, thank you guys so much. I took something from each and every one of you. The man that was the architect that surrounded me with such great talent and coaches, the guy that took a gamble on me in 1987, I gotta say thank you so much to Donnie Walsh.
All right, and that is Reggie Miller, we just heard. I'm guessing that's his Hall of Fame acceptance speech, Yep. All right, so Reggie Miller played 18 years, as we said, with the same team, all with the Indiana Pacers. He is a 5-time NBA All-Star. His first appearance was in 1990, and 95, 96, 98, and 2000. He is in this era where he probably there was no 1999 All-Star game. So guards Iverson, Kobe, Shaq, Duncan, a lot of people don't have. So he could have been a 6-time. How many All-NBA teams do you think he made?
I did not cheat, so I have no idea. I'm gonna say 5.
I want to say 4.
I'll say 3.
You are right, Uriah.
I cheated.
You cheated.
Really? Only 3? That seems kind of low for a guy like Reggie.
I think the thing with Reggie is that, and we haven't really mentioned it, is he had different eras of like really good teams that almost made the finals. He had the Knicks era, and then he had like the Bulls, the 2000s, and then they made the finals. So he had guys like Jalen Rose. Like he had some. They spread it out on that team. No one was putting up a lot of numbers. So I think that affected his individual accolades. Reggie Miller is also part of the 75th anniversary team. As Uriah said, it was 50, 40, 90 club in 94. He was the J. Walter Kennedy Citizen Award in 2004. USA Basketball Male Athlete of the Year in 2002. I'd like to see that. And All FIBA World Cup First Team in 94. Was he part of the 92 team?
No, he wasn't. That's a typo. I saw that UCLA has it on their website that Reggie Miller played on the 92 Dream Team. That is not correct.
I wonder why he didn't. That seems like almost as big of a snub as Isaiah that we talked about earlier.
Well,
no. Chris Mullin was the guy, and Chris Mullin was putting up numbers.
I get that.
He was part of the 96 team, though, the 96 Dream Team. So he did get that. And then he won the gold medal in 96 and the gold medal in 94, the FIBA World Championships.
Well, I think Reggie Miller was in a shadow, and a lot of guards were in a shadow of Michael Jordan at the time. But as the Jordan era kind of took a break when he retired, I think Reggie stepped up with that Pacers team in 94, 95, and they had some classic series against the Knicks and the Heat. Accolades-wise and awards-wise, I could see why he was only a 3-time. I think, well, actually, how many times was he an All-Star?
5. And again, he should have been in 99 had they had one. So almost 6. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, in that era.
It is interesting, though. I would say of the NBA 75th anniversary team, he probably has the least amount of accolades. I could be wrong, but so it's cool that the players, they still voted him in because
I think he's still well-deserved.
He's better than these accolades.
The All-Stars, he could have had more and probably deserved it. I've never thought about that, Lucas, until you mentioned it. I think that's a fair argument about him being on the Dream Team. One thing that is interesting, I'm looking at his stats now, leading the league in free throw percentage, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 5 times. Reggie Miller led the league in free throw percentage. So he may not have a lot of all NBAs or championship rings or MVPs, but he's in the Hall of Fame for a reason. And that reason is he was such an exemplary shooter and great teammate, as you'll probably attest when we get to Maurice.
Yeah.
All right. And then, Lucas, what about you? What stands out to you?
I mean, I've already said it. The fact that he wasn't a part of the Dream Team and that he should have had more All-Star and probably more All-NBA appearances. I mean, the guy's 25th all-time in scoring. Let's think that in perspective. The best 3-point shooter before, Ray Allen or Steph Curry.
That's a good point.
I don't see why, I get that, he was on some bad Pacer teams, but, the guy put up numbers, and I guess that's another way that him and Dame are kind of similar is that, they weren't on these flashy teams. They were in these medium to small markets, and they didn't get quite enough recognition for it. I mean, Dame has social media has helped Dame today, but, Reggie didn't have that back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watching his highlights, I don't know if you guys have this too, but his off-ball movement stood out to me because that's really big right now.
Yeah.
That's so big in the league.
Yeah.
He was so quick.
Good point.
He would have put up he would have put up way bigger numbers in today's league. He would have been a better version of Klay Thompson, in my opinion.
Him and Steph Curry are both great off-ball shooters.
Yeah, the speed, man. That's such an underrated skill, off-ball movement.
I agree.
Fourth quarter, teammates.
I think this performance definitely ranks towards the top, probably at the top, just because of what he had to go through tonight. I picked up my 3rd foul in the first quarter. He has to play 24 straight minutes, carry the load offensively while trying to guard Russ, who's attacking, getting downhill every possession. Confidence never wavered. His stamina, ability to hit tough shots, off the dribble, finishing around the basket. Carried the load for us all night. When we needed baskets, he got them. I think we were down 15 in the 4th quarter. When Nurk came with about 3-4 minutes left, we were down 8. And I just looked at him. I said, bro, we can still win this game. He said, I know. I said, just get one stop at a time. I said, let me know when you need a break. And down the stretch, for the last play, they took it out of bounds. I was like, you want the ball, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right, go get it. And I didn't know he was going to raise from 40. I was like, go, go. Then he raised from 40, and I was like, that's a bad mother. That's a bad. You know what I said.
All right, and let's talk about Damian Lillard's teammates. Drafted in 2012, I'm going to skip ahead one season because actually the Portland Trail Blazers had a 54-28 record in his second season in the NBA. And he was surrounded by teammates like LaMarcus Aldridge, Will Barton, Nicholas Batum, Miles Leonard, Wesley Matthews, Mo Williams, and of course C.J. McCollum, who was his most winningest teammate. What are you guys' opinion and thoughts on the Portland Trail Blazers in that mid-2000 era where they weren't a championship caliber team, but they were competitive? Lucas?
I think they had their best chance. I think that if LaMarcus would have stayed and they could have, tried another 2 to 3 years, I think they could have made a good run at it.
Ben?
Yeah, looking up, I kind of mentioned this, Maurice, in the accolades, seeing how quickly Dame, and remember he took over Brandon Roy I think that was kind of a risk, them drafting him, and it worked out right away. Like that team, I think they made the second round in his second or third year, right?
The second
like
year.
And so they were supposed to be this big. They were right there with OKC. They were supposed to be this big, like, you know, they drafted these guys. They were like top 10 picks, and to see it kind of, I guess, LaMarcus leaving is what started it, unfortunately, because they had such a good core, and it would have been nice to see LaMarcus stay there because he kind of didn't really do much in he made some all-star teams in San Antonio, but he didn't really. I feel like it would have been nice to see that core kind of stay together.
Right.
Yeah, I think Lucas had a good point. Ben had a good point, especially with LaMarcus Aldridge, who was a really, I think, underrated front court player. Again, because he's in Portland, not many people were able to watch those games, but I'm sure their productivity was on point, especially if they're making the playoffs when Dame is such a young player. But the inside-outside punch, like you guys were saying, if they had more time, they could have advanced. One thing that stood out, I didn't know that Mo Williams played in Portland. I just always associate him with Cleveland, but anyway.
Yeah, that is a good grab. I didn't realize that he played in Portland. It must have been toward the end of his career.
Yeah. Now, another name, a Hall of Famer, people tend to forget about because it was a quick stint. Carmelo Anthony played with the Portland Trail Blazers.
Yep.
I completely forgot.
He had been recruiting Carmelo for years.
Wow.
And Carmelo only came after his prime was over, which wasn't fair to Dame. But you know, he was a good role player for him.
Yeah, my brother lives in Portland, and so you know they go to all the games and everything. And I don't know if you guys have spent much on it. It is kind of like a small town. It's really nice. It kind of has like a Pittsburgh feel.
Mm-hmm.
People are really friendly. I get why they don't get the free agents. And so it's kind of like in Oklahoma City. You have to kind of draft to go there. It is a really nice town and it is progressive. So it's too bad it doesn't work. You know, Nike's there, Adidas is there. It's too bad it's not. I feel like it should be bigger than it is, but I feel like that hurts. That's hurt his teammates. People leave. And they overpay guys, man. Like, God, they overpay some guys.
Do you remember Alan Crabb?
Oh, yeah. I remember
Alan Crabb.
That's considered the worst contract of all time. One of them.
That was part of that 2016 cap spike.
Yes, it was. I think they paid him 4 years, $74 million for Alan Crabb.
Wow.
I mean, even in today's salary cap, that would be considered an overpay.
Yeah. And we go back to, and we talk about this, I talk about this every podcast, roster construction. They didn't draft really well in Portland over the years with Dame. And now we see that loyalty kind of wavering now to the point where, as we're recording this, he's on his way out and he's going to be traded sooner or later, more than likely sooner. The teams that they've put around him over the years, and I mentioned Carmelo, they were competitive with Carmelo. But over the last couple of years, they even had guys like Jeremy Grant, Gary Payton the second, Yusuf Nurkic, Robert Covington, and they traded away C.J. McCollum, which was Dame's best teammate.
I will say this in his defense. They needed this split up CJ and Dame. It just wasn't going to work. Two small guards in today's NBA just doesn't work. I think they're both better off for it.
Well, to be fair, they were the second best backcourt duo behind Steph and Clay.
Yeah, but the defense the offense was never the issue. It's the defense, and that's why they couldn't get that far. Their best team with those two as a backcourt was when they had, Al-Farouq Aminu and Mo Harkless as their forwards, who were like defense-only guys to make up for the lack of defense that those two played.
I think the only iteration that made it to the conference finals, they got swept, though, was when Nurkic, everyone was kind of like clicking, but their defense still lacked. They had no defenders. They had no Draymond Green.
That's the squad I told you that had Mo Harkless and Al-Farouq Aminu.
Yeah, and they didn't have a lot of size either.
Right. Yeah, that was the Terry Stotts, right?
Yes,
the coach.
Yeah, that he was a good coach, but yeah.
All right, so as I play this last clip for this episode, you're going to hear a teammate of Reggie Miller. You might recognize his voice right away, but the context is he's talking about a time that Reggie Miller was playing one-on-one with Kobe.
And the reason why is because I can remember talking to Reggie Miller, and Reggie Miller, living in LA, would say he was shooting, I believe, a commercial. And it was Reggie Miller and Kobe Bryant shooting the commercial. And during the time of the break of the commercial, Kobe said, well, let's play some one-on-one, just, get a workout in the middle of the summer. So Reggie's like, cool. They playing one-on-one. Reg shoot a jumper, knocks it down. Gets the ball back, jab step, jumper, knocks it down. All of a sudden, he looked like he sees Kobe, and in Kobe's eyes, it almost looked like they were back in the finals, because Kobe's thinking, this ain't chill mode one-on-one. I'm getting ready to go at you. And Kobe begins to put on an absolute clinic in the one-on-one against Reggie Miller.
Right.
He took it, and it's just he only had one gear. And then after Kobe plays Reggie Miller one-on-one, he then pulls Reggie aside and said, show me how you do that jab step jumper. Show me how you come off of screens.
What does that say to you guys that Kobe went to Reggie at that time of his career?
I would say, like, what stands out to me, Uriah, and hearing that Mark Jackson, like, I forgot that he played with him briefly. I was like, damn, this guy did have loaded squads. Reggie, going through this right now, he's such a playoff riser. Like, you don't talk about his regular season, period. The guy just, like, turns it on and has some of the most iconic playoff, like, everything, like, against the best players of all time. So I get why Kobe, like, wanted to seek that out. He's like, hey, I need to be a dog like Reggie, because Reggie was always a dog on the court. So especially in the playoffs.
Killers recognize killers.
As we know.
As we know. All right, let's talk about Reggie Miller's teammates. But before I do that, when we have a player from back in the day, I like to go back to their rookie season and just look at the names of some of the players for all the older listeners out there. So Reggie Miller was drafted in 1987. These are some of the players that he played with. This might put a smile on Uriah's face. Vern Fleming.
Yes.
Chuck Persons, who was actually a really good player.
Very good player.
Yeah, very good player. Yeah, Lucas has no idea who we're talking about.
I'm the baby of the group here, guys. I'm only 30, so I don't know what's going on here.
Check your YouTube, youngin.
Wayman Tisdale.
Wayman Tisdale played bass guitar.
Are these
good
real
instrumentalist.
And Scott Skiles.
Okay, I know that.
We know.
I know
Scott.
that one.
Lucas knows that. Yeah.
I know who that is.
Most assists in one game.
Oh, I just thought he was a terrible head coach in the NBA. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know about the system. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He wasn't that good, though. He ruined Joe Alexander. Sorry, I'm getting off topic.
Let's move on. All right, let's go to the 94 season. The 94 season was probably Reggie Miller's breakout season as a competitive team. We remember them having a great series against the New York Knicks, as we know. I would like to mention some of the teammates in 94. Antonio Davis, Dale Davis, the Davis brothers. Two great rebounders, rim protectors as well. Mark Jackson, as we just heard. Really good, reliable point guard. Got the ball where it needed to be. Chris Mullin, Dream Team. Very underrated player. Probably his best years was in Golden State, but Chris Mullin was still a great player. A young Jalen Rose.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
a key teammate for him.
Oh yeah.
And Rick Smits, who's him and Reggie Miller won the most games together with as teammates. So let me go around and ask you guys, what were your memories of the Indiana Pacers and the Knicks, specifically New York Knicks, that series, that heated rivalry? I'm going to start with Uriah.
I have a memory, but you got to listen to this clip.
And Dan Hicks has Reggie Miller. Dan?
All right, Tom, just an unexpected turn of events there in the last minute. What was going through your mind? You knew you had to get a quick couple threes.
Well, we knew we had to get a three. We were down by 6. If we got a quick three on that, we knew they had no timeouts. We had to pressure the ball. We overplayed Anthony. Mason choked and threw it to me. I hit a three. And we almost cost us the game when Sam made that foul, but John Starks choked. We came up big.
Reggie, maybe the difference between this year's team and last year's team, this team never gave up hope during the last portions of this game, even though it looked like you were on the losing end.
Last year, I'm not going to lie, coming in here for the Eastern Conference Final, we didn't think we could win. We feel we can sweep this team. This is for you, Indiana. We're coming back. Yes!
All right, Tom Hammond.
So there's the memory. Reggie Miller hits 2 big threes against the Knicks and just completely demoralized the entire stadium, let alone the team. So, yeah, that's Reggie getting interviewed after that historic performance.
Yeah, as we know earlier, and we mentioned it in the intro, Spike Lee. I think we all seen the clips of Spike Lee chastising Reggie Miller throughout the game.
Oh, yeah.
And Reggie just shot these 2 threes after who was it? I forget his name. The guy
passer?
from the Knicks. The inbounder.
Oh, it was Anthony Mason.
Anthony Mason, yes. Anthony Mason.
Boneheaded.
Yeah, Anthony Mason had a bad pass. Reggie Miller just grabbed the ball, took 2 steps behind the 3-point line, had the presence of mind just to shoot the 3 and made it. And then he just turns around, points at Spike Lee. It was one of the funniest moments in basketball.
I would just say, I think that was the first moment. This whole Spike Lee Reggie thing, that was the first kind of I'd never seen anything like that before at that time. I'd never seen a player get at it. And Spike Lee was, I think Malcolm X had just come out. He had just become a big deal. And so it was just really cool to see kind of Hollywood with Reggie and just see a player not back down, in the Garden.
How about Ben? How about the fact that in the interview, he called out his opponents and said he choked.
You don't hear that anymore.
You never hear that.
Mm-hmm.
I missed that. That makes the game so much more interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting going through this. We discover as we go through these podcasts, just the playoff, I keep reiterating it, but the guy just really rose to the occasion and became the top dog in the playoffs. So
the Pacers had a great series in '98 when they played the Bulls. I think they were the only team to get Michael in the Chicago Bulls to a Game 7.
I think during the Last Dance, they said that the Pacers were their toughest matchup.
Yeah, they did.
Were they up 3? Marie, were they up 3-2 in that series? The Pacers at one point, or no?
I think they were. I think they were because I recall Jalen Rose saying that they were up, and then all of a sudden they lost momentum and the ability to close out that series. I think you're right.
Yeah, and they had pretty much the same roster as the '94 team. Travis Best, Derek McKee, pretty much the same players. But that's got to be an accomplishment. Even though they lost.
It's interesting, I looked up Rick Smits made an all-star team that year. He had really deep rosters, Reggie. And it's because I did the accolades. It makes sense of why he didn't have many accolades the first half of his career because his teams weren't good, but from that Knicks era on, he was loaded. All those guys were fringe all-stars or all-stars.
Yeah.
So Mark Jackson is one of the best point guards of all time.
Yeah.
So not surprised. And he had amazing coaches.
Larry Bird was his coach.
Yeah.
During that '98 season. All right, and we gotta mention Malice at the Palace because that was Reggie Miller's last season, 04-05. They could have been a championship team with that roster if they didn't get suspended. And by they, I mean Metta World Peace, Steven Jackson, Jermaine O'Neal. That was a really good team.
Goodness, that was a good team.
Question. 05. It was the Pistons versus the Spurs, right? That
Correct.
ended up going to. Do you think that team could have beaten the Spurs?
It would have been more competitive because they had more wing players. Detroit was a great defensive team. Don't get me wrong, and this is prime Ben Wallace.
Yeah, Lucas. If you look at, I think the year before, the Pacers were the 1 seed. They won 61 games.
Yes,
and brought everyone back, and everyone was reaching their peak because Artest was still young. He was only drafted in 99, and he had won Defensive Player of the Year. And then Jermaine O'Neal was kind of reaching all NBA first team, second team status.
Yeah.
They had a squad. Steven Jackson, that was. I think, Lucas, that's why I said that earlier on. I think that team could have potentially won the chip.
That just guarding Duncan, Tony, and Manu in their prime. I guess they would have had the wings to do it, though.
I mean, Jermaine O'Neal in his prime.
But
Jermaine O'Neal was
right. That's right. They were both power forwards back then. Oh gosh, that's weird. They're both like considered modern day centers, but they were both power forwards back then. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, another time to talk
And
about
that Pacers team still had Dale Davis, Jonathan Bender.
Yeah, and what was crazy is like Reggie wasn't like averaging 3 points like a 13th man. He was like contributing.
He was
on that team.
his last season. He averaged about 15 points per game.
Yeah. Yes.
That was it. Yeah, that was it. And for anybody that doesn't know, Malice of the Palace is basically there was a brawl that happened. Players got involved, fans got involved, and basically David Stern suspended a couple players, Metta World Peace and Steven Jackson, basically for the season.
So, watch the documentary, guys.
Yeah, watch the documentary.
Yeah, watch the documentary. Decide for yourself.
Good documentary.
So just to wrap this up in a whole, clearly by numbers that Lucas gave us earlier, clutch wise, surprisingly, Damian Lillard was a more clutch shooter. Is more clutch than Reggie Miller. As far as teammates, as Maurice brought out, if Damian Lillard had the roster construction that the Pacers had during Reggie's, I guess, most prolific and successful time in the NBA, who knows if Damian Lillard has more than one championship by now. And the last thing before we go, everyone's wondering this, who's the better rapper, hip-hop artist, Reggie Miller or Damian Lillard? Come on.
That's not even close.
Don't even. You know what? One of them was in a movie. Started movie, Uncle Drew. So give Reggie his props there.
Reggie was good in that. He was hilarious.
And you know what's funny? We keep hearing Reggie in some of these clips announcing.
He's good.
Reggie's a good announcer, man.
Yeah.
He's really good.
And he's ageless. He looks the same that he did when he retired, man.
He looks the same as he did at UCLA.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Wait, one last Lucas nugget. This is for you, Lucas.
Oh, for me?
Did you know that, and I have the audio, but I'm not going to play it, but I'll just tell you that Donnie Walsh from the Pacers didn't have Reggie Miller as the player he was going to select first in the 87 draft. Does anybody know who he wanted?
87.
It's
I'm
a
trying to remember.
point guard for the Phoenix Suns. Just there you go.
Oh, Kevin Johnson.
Yeah.
Wow.
In the audio clip, he was saying that he wanted Kevin Johnson, but they ended up taking Reggie Miller.
Kevin Johnson had a great career too.
Both had great career.
That's a comparison we got to get into because Kevin Johnson was
We
nice.
got to find a good modern day player to compare him to.
Yes.
I guess I'll do some homework on that.
Please
that
do.
Maybe Fox.
Because he's not a Hall of Famer, so we could do that as a regular episode too.
I would say De'Aaron Fox would be my pick.
We already got a De'Aaron Fox comparison.
Okay.
Yeah, remember? I think someone told me about it.
I thought I said. I know I mentioned
Nick Van
Kevin
Exel.
Johnson.
You said Nick Van
Yeah,
Exel.
that's it. Yeah, that's definitely the comp. Yeah.
I got to watch some Kevin Johnson highlights to really get a good idea. Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up with a nice little bow.
Now that we've set up the debate with all the facts on Damian Lillard and Reggie Miller, it's time for you to make your case.
At this point, it's not about our opinion. It's about yours.
We'll see you on your favorite social media platform, ready to check out your takes. Chime in on our Instagram at NBA_NowAndThen_pod, on Twitter at NBA_NowAndThen, and on our Facebook page, NBA Now and Then.
Okay, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We'll check you out next time. Peace.
Later.
See ya.
Have a good day.